It's time to get to the Rafflecopter with the 10 funniest games you can play on PC. Humour is subjective. What makes one person lol will make another, well, do whatever the opposite of lol is. But whether you love the simple slapstick of a worm being prodded to a watery death, or razor-sharp wordplay from a scathing AI, there's something for you on this list. The only takedowns you'll find here are verbal ones. The only bone getting broken will be your humerus. Well, not literally, of course, that would be horrible. So turn that frown upside down. Here are the 10 funniest games on PC.
I'll handle this.
Perhaps, if played professionally, Worms isn't funny. Maybe it's a tense game of strategy and explosives, but, and this is important, Worms is like karaoke. No one really likes it if anyone is any good at it. This means that Worms WMD then, the latest in the squirmy Team 17 franchise, is at its most comedic when everything is going wrong. When Matt accidentally throws a grenade backwards, or Matt tumbles into the water when trying to execute a jump, or Matt falls off a cliff in a drill boat, or Matt murders his own worm when one of mine takes him out as collateral damage. Are you sensing a theme? Everyone has their own favourite Worms game, so consider this just a vote for the franchise if your favourite doesn't include mechs or helicopters spewing bullety, wormy death from above. Whether it's the glory of explosives or just a perfectly timed prod, Worms is always absolute comedy gold. Oh, go on, let's see that again.
Fatality.
It shouldn't have worked. In no way should South Park The Stick of Truth have been anything more than officially licensed disappointment. And yet, here it is. Not just one of the funniest games on this list, but a genuinely brilliant, and of course gloriously offensive, RPG in its own right. The Stick of Truth happily skewers the genre as a, well, whole, switching out dragon shouts for farts and letting you take your favourite South Park residents along with you as a buddy. This is a surprisingly in-depth affair as you tinker with builds and attacks, but it's never at the expense of Matt Stone and Trey Parker's vision for a truly interactive South Park experience as you feel like the shining, slightly worried-looking star of your own episode. If we're honest, the Stick of Truth's best jokes aren't just spoilers, but probably too risky for this list. So if you haven't already played, get it downloaded and prepare to chuckle and feel slightly guilty about it at the same time. If you've played many games, and the fact that you're here watching this video suggests you have, then the Hex is a veritable joke book of funnies written specifically for you. And we're not going to ruin the jokes by giving away the punchlines here. It'll be much better if you play it yourself. But you should know that the Hex uses all the tropes that we recognise in games to incredible effect. The broader the variety of genres you've played, the more opportunities you'll have to do a Captain America style "I understood that reference." And, like the best comedies, there's a degree of earnestness mixed in with the humour. The funny bits are funny because you know what they're lampooning, but the story itself is superbly well told. Picking between Portals 1 and 2 respectively for a list like this is like deciding whether or not GLaDOS has your best interests at heart.
Good news. I figured out what that thing you just incinerated did. It was a morality core they installed after I flooded the enrichment center with a deadly neurotoxin.
Okay, maybe that's easier than I remember, but the point still stands. Valve's tests of your physics brain might be nice mental workouts, but the joy of both Portal games is just how ludicrously smart their writing is. Whether it's the isolating yet hilarious feeling of being a lab rat in a maze with only a murderous AI for company, or the opening up of the madness to even more confused robots in the sequel, these are absurdly funny games. It seemed impossible to beat the perfect simplicity of the original, but the casting of British comedian Stephen Merchant as the dysfunctional Wheatley,
"Don't move, I'm gonna get us out of here,"
and J.K. Simmons as the ranting Aperture creator Cave Johnson,
"Do you know who I am?"
brought Portal 2 to new comedy heights. These are scripts and performances that would be quite frankly dangerous not to have on this list. Also, why would we make an effort to be funny in this section when there's this to contend with?
I'm not even angry, even though you broke my heart and killed me.
It's It's an unwritten rule of funniest game lists that if you don't include one Monkey Island game, a haunted pirate will appear and drag you into the depths. But this isn't a box-checking exercise. The secret of Monkey Island is here on merit alone. We've included the special edition here, but it's worth remembering that the original came out in 1990, long before other games had even considered breaking the fourth wall. So it's knowing and smart then, but it's also got relatable characters, fabulous wordplay, and a wonderfully daft sense of slapstick fun. Among its many gifts to human civilization, Monkey Island also includes insult sword fighting, which makes it feel like playing the best bits of The Princess Bride. And yes, some of the puzzles are tricky, until you realise that even the solutions are jokes too. Nothing is sacred in Monkey Island, and that's why it deserves to be on this list, and every other funny game list ever for the rest of time.
Walk this way.
We should probably be afraid of exactly how many games make working together with one person absolutely hilarious, just because it makes teamwork in the real world seem like a frankly ridiculous prospect. Human Fall Flat comes out on top as the peak catastrophe-packed co-op experience simply because it should be easy. There you are, a little plasticine figure joined by your best friend. What could possibly go wrong? Stop it. Let go of me. Why can't you climb? What's wrong with you? Why am I walking like a toddler? Why are we stuck again? Physics has never been this confusing, hilarious and fun as you work out ways to reach new areas and climb together without permanently adhering yourself to your co-op partner. Toss in the fact that you can add your own faces to your absurd squishy characters and things only get more amusing. If you don't believe me, check out our Let's Play.
I just want to take in the view.
I think I can fix this.
Yeah.
If Red Dead Redemption is to be believed, the Wild West isn't funny. It's a serious place for serious humans to have serious chats about cleaning guns and the threat of industrialisation. Well, it's a good thing then that no one told West of Loathing, a stickman-based RPG adventure that sees you questing through all manner of Western tropes. And yes, of course it's the Wild West. Look, the skeletons you battle in turn-based combat have cowboy hats. Everything about this hand-drawn world is utterly charming. It ticks off tropes like a to-do list, but at no point does West of Loathing feel like it's outstaying its welcome, just lovingly riffing on every gunslinging cliché and then adding its own unique spin to proceedings. If you've got the quick-fire reflexes of a true Western hero, you might even have noticed that West of Loathing is magnificent 7th on this list. Oh, come on, Magnificent 7? Oh, never mind. Go and play with the stickmen. Okay, so on the face of it, Oblivion itself isn't that funny. It's all dead emperors, demon incursions, and Sean Bean being sincere and priesty. But also, there's this.
Can I help you?
Most of us didn't notice it at the time because we were too busy having an adventure, but in hindsight, the game's slapstick physics, creaking conversations, and bizarre crash zooms make it a deeply comic experience. And now we have YouTube to sift through the game and share all its funniest moments. So now we no longer see traps and think, oh, that's dangerous. We think, how can we use that comedically to kill our idiot followers? So it's hilarious then, but it does make it difficult to take it seriously, no matter how many picturesque towns get burned by Mehrunes Dagon. We're not getting existential here, but sometimes when it comes to real life, if we didn't laugh, we would absolutely cry. And that's exactly why The Sims 4 is so funny. Regardless of whether you're playing seriously, forcing yourself not to cheat and making your sim work through life the hard way, or buying ludicrously expensive refrigerators and just taking up beekeeping full time, The Sims is constantly hilarious. They might have their own language, common snana, but you know exactly what's playing out on screen at any given time. You understand why your Sims are crying. I mean, it's the clown, isn't it? Or why they're all deciding to ignore each other. And it's all because they're far too human, just like us. Oh, these tiny playthings passing time in their own minuscule world. If only they knew the power we held over them. Oh wait, now they do. Sorry. Not sorry. Let's face it, hospitals aren't known for their comedy. Thankfully, 2 Point Hospital, the spiritual successor to 90s classic Theme Hospital, understands that too. Everything that walks through the doors of your medical facility is an X-ray beam aimed squarely at your funny bone. Lightheadedness, mock star, pandemic, barking mad. Each illness and malady that comes for treatment is like drowning in a sea of perfect puns. Even watching each treatment take place is a comedy joy to behold as pan removal fails and light bulbs are magically switched out for new heads. That is, if you've got time to take in the sights between desperately constructing more facilities for the busload of people with terminal chest infections. Throw in the comedy bored receptionist calling for doctors and sending out helpful advice across the tannoy.
Some patients should be ashamed of their condition.
And cleaners who'll vacuum up ghosts, and 2 Point Hospital might just be further proof that laughter truly is the best medicine. So that's the 10 funniest games you can play on PC. Hopefully at least the games made you smile if our terrible puns didn't. Let us know your favourite funny games in the comments below, drop us a like if you enjoyed our collection of lols, and subscribe to Logitech G for more top 10s just like this one. If you do already subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you know when our next video lands.